Most people don't get broken by disasters. They get broken by tiny, invisible battles inside their own heads. That's why mental toughness isn't built by surviving one big moment. It's forged, every day, in silence, in how you respond to failure, boredom, doubt. So here's the uncomfortable truth. You're not losing to life, you're losing to your own mind. But what if you could take back control? What if the strength you thought you didn't have was always there, buried under noise, fear, and distraction? Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king, faced betrayal, war, death, and despair, yet remained unshaken. He didn't just survive, he ruled from within. His journal Meditations wasn't written for applause. It was written for survival, for clarity, for discipline, for war against the self. And now, over 20 years later, his words remain sharper than ever, not because life got easier, but because our minds got weaker. So if you're tired of being ruled by emotion, broken by failure, and distracted by everything, this is the path back to strength. Not just outer strength, but a fortress of mind. A mindset that doesn't flinch, doesn't beg, doesn't break. In the next few minutes, we'll explore 10 timeless lessons from Marcus Aurelius' battle-tested principles to help you develop what few ever master: the unbreakable mind. You think the world is attacking you. You think people are judging you. You think your life is unfair, doomed, broken. But stop. What if none of that is true? What if the real enemy isn't the world, but the way you see it? Marcus Aurelius taught this brutal truth. Your suffering is not created by events, it's created by your interpretation of them. And until you take control of that lens, you are a prisoner, not a warrior. Let's be clear. Perception is everything. You don't see reality. You see a filtered version colored by fear, ego, insecurity, memory. And when that filter is cracked, so is your strength. So here's the discipline. Train your mind to question itself. Ask, is this thought helping me or hurting me? Am I seeing what's there or just what I fear? Is this a threat or just discomfort? Perception can turn a bad day into a test or into a tragedy. It can turn failure into fuel or into final defeat. It can make you panic in silence or stand calm in chaos. The Stoics didn't deny emotion, they trained it. They practiced cognitive weaponry skills we now call mindfulness, reframing, perspective shifting. They knew the mind left untrained is a traitor. It reacts, it spirals, it lies. But the trained mind? It observes, it questions, it decides. So start there. Notice the thought. Challenge the story. Strip away the judgment. Then ask, what else could be true? Build rituals that sharpen your perception. 5 minutes of stillness before the chaos begins. 1 cold breath before reacting. Journaling the story you told yourself and rewriting it like a general reviewing battle strategy. And don't walk this path alone. Surround yourself with those who challenge your vision, not feed your delusions. The wrong voice can poison your lens. The right one can realign your soul. Remember, the mind is not a mirror, it's a weapon. Either you control it, or it controls you. As Marcus wrote, everything we hear is an opinion. Everything we see is a perspective. Which means you can choose your weapon. You can reforge your vision. You can take back the one thing no one can ever touch: your perception. You want control. Over outcomes. Over people. Over the future. But control is an illusion, and that illusion is killing your peace. The truth is brutal. Most of what happens in your life isn't up to you. But your reaction always is. Marcus Aurelius didn't just accept this, he embraced it. In the middle of wars, betrayal, disease, and death, he didn't beg fate to change. He changed himself. He adjusted his mind to match reality, not fantasy. And that, right there, is Stoic power. You think letting go means giving up. You think surrender equals weakness. But no resistance is what weakens you. Every moment spent fighting what cannot be changed is energy stolen from what can. So here's the command. Stop wasting fire on the rain. Instead, learn to stand in the storm without flinching. Acceptance is not passive, it's precision. It's choosing where to aim your strength. Not toward fate, but toward your response. Try this. List out everything currently draining you, everything you obsess over but cannot alter. A person's choices, a past decision, a global event. Then circle what's in your control, your next move, your words, your discipline. Now burn the rest mentally or literally. That is how warriors lighten the load. Practice non-attachment. You don't own anything. Not your title, not your relationships, not even your own health. You steward them, you serve them, but you do not possess them. The more you cling, the more you suffer. The more you let go, the more space you create for clarity, strength, and forward motion. Repeat this until it becomes instinct. This too shall pass. Not as an escape, but as armor. You are not your circumstances. You are how you face them. Use meditation, solitude, and breath to remind your body. You are not here to win control over life, but to master your position within it. So when the storm hits, and it will, don't collapse into complaint. Stand tall. Face forward. Say nothing. And act where you still have power. Because as Marcus wrote, accept the things to which fate binds you. That's not a soft whisper. It's a warrior's command. It's how the mind becomes untouchable. Regret is a chain. Worry is a cage. And you wear both like armor, wondering why you're so heavy. We live haunted by yesterday and hypnotized by tomorrow. But while your mind chases ghosts and mirages, your life is slipping away. Marcus Aurelius didn't have time to fantasize. He was emperor, soldier, father, stoic. And still, in the chaos of empire and war, he wrote this truth in his journal. Concentrate the mind on the present moment. Not because it's poetic, but because it's powerful. Because the present is the only battlefield where your choices actually count. Think of it like this. The past, dead. The future, imaginary. The present, that's the only place you can fight, move, grow, act. But the modern mind rebels. It replays every mistake. It predicts every failure. It demands to know what if, what then, what next. That's not clarity, that's chaos. And Stoicism is the antidote. Here's the practice. Every time your mind runs, call it back. Breathe. Look at what's actually in front of you. Your hands, your task, your breath. Right here is the only place power exists. Start training attention like a soldier sharpens his sword. When you eat, taste it. When you walk, feel each step. When you speak, listen to the sound of your own words. This is not soft mindfulness. This is tactical awareness. Use the body to anchor the brain. Cold showers, silent walks, timed breathing. These aren't trends, they're tools to reclaim your presence from a distracted world. And when anxiety floods your mind, ask, where am I right now? Is this threat real or imagined? Can I do something about it now? If not, drop it. If yes, do it. Nothing else. This is why so many break down. They live everywhere except here. They try to fix tomorrow with panic and rewrite the past with guilt. Neither works. Both kill momentum. The Stoic lives inside the now. Not because he has no ambition, but because the present is where ambition takes form. So stop escaping. Stop drifting. Stand in this moment like a warrior in his stance. Eyes forward. Mind calm. Because this second, this breath, is where you build the life you say you want. Or as Marcus would put it, to live is to act, and action only happens here. You think you're better, more disciplined, more aware, more together than the ones around you. You see their flaws, their weakness, their lack of control, their poor choices, and you judge. But stop. That sharp gaze you turn outward should be turned inward first. Because here's the truth, Marcus Aurelius knew all too well. The flaws you condemn in others are often the shadows you refuse to face in yourself. Humility is not weakness. It's not shrinking or being submissive. It's strength with self-awareness. It's knowing what you are and what you're still capable of becoming if you lose control. Empathy is not softness. It's not letting people off the hook. It's the courage to understand without excusing. To listen not just to words, but to pain beneath them. The Stoic does not judge quickly. He observes. He reflects. Then he responds with clarity, not contempt. Here's the principle. The man you mock today might be the man you become tomorrow if your discipline slips. The person you pity might be walking through pain you've never had to carry. So before you speak, ask, have I done the same? Have I thought the same? Do I even understand what this person is fighting? This doesn't mean tolerating disrespect. It means separating the behavior from the being. It means holding your ground with dignity, not ego. Practice this. When anger rises, pause. Replace the question, what's wrong with them, with what's wounded in them. And even harder, what's wounded in me that this triggered? That's Stoic interrogation. Brutal, honest, transformational. To cultivate humility. Admit when you're wrong, immediately and fully. Listen more than you speak. And surround yourself with people who aren't impressed by you, but who challenge you. To cultivate empathy. Step into their shoes. Visualize their past. Picture the night they broke down, the morning they wanted to quit. Do this not to justify, but to humanize. Because here's the real lesson. You don't rise by looking down. You rise by lifting others, even if it's just with understanding. And in a world obsessed with status, applause, and image, the Stoic seeks something purer, character. As Marcus reminds us, before you blame, examine yourself. Before you speak, ask yourself who you're becoming. That's not philosophy. That's discipline. That's war on ego. That's how humility and empathy make the mind unbreakable. You say you want peace. You want clarity, strength, focus. But you wake up each day already angry, already behind, already empty. Why? Because you've trained your mind to see lack, to spot what's missing, not what's present, to obsess over what's wrong and ignore what's still holding you up. That's not reality. That's blindness. And Marcus Aurelius had no patience for it. When you arise in the morning, he wrote, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love. Notice his words. Not lucky, not blessed. Privilege. Something earned, something you honor by how you use it. Gratitude isn't a mood. It's not soft. It's not spiritual fluff. It's discipline. It's the ability to stand in the ruins of your plans and still whisper, I have breath, I have choice, I have today. You think that's weakness? No, that's survival. That's the root of mental toughness. Try this. Before your phone, before the noise, write down 3 things. Not big, not dramatic, just real. I can walk without pain. I have clean water. I know someone who still believes in me. Do that every day for 1 week and see what shifts. Why? Because the brain can't spiral into despair when it's grounded in presence. Because the heart hardens when it forgets what it has. And yes, this practice is hardest when you feel like you have nothing left. But that's exactly when it matters most. Gratitude is what steadies your hand when the world shakes. It's what clears your mind when everything else clouds. It's what makes you notice you're still here. And if you're still here, you're not done yet. Don't just think it, speak it. Text someone, "Thank you for yesterday." Say it out loud when no one's around. "I'm thankful for the chance to fight again today." You're not lying to yourself, you're reminding your mind what's real. Because gratitude sharpens perception. It realigns values. It clears the fog of entitlement and expectation. And if you lose everything tomorrow, what would you beg to have back? Whatever that is, cherish it today, fiercely. Marcus didn't write about miracles. He wrote about moments. And he knew, the man who sees what he has is always wealthier than the one who sees only what he's lost. Gratitude doesn't make you passive, it makes you present. And presence is where all power begins. You think the pain is in your way, the loss, the failure, the heartbreak, the betrayal. You think it's blocking your progress, stealing your momentum. But what if Marcus was right? What if the obstacle is the path? The impediment to action advances action, he wrote. What stands in the way becomes the way. This isn't motivation. This is strategy. It's how warriors survive what others collapse under. Most people want an easy road, a clean run, a plan that works without pressure. But ease never built anything worth keeping, and growth never comes without friction. Here's the shift. Adversity isn't interruption, it's invitation. To step into who you say you want to be. To stop performing strength and start proving it. Think back. The strongest parts of you were forged in fire. The discipline you developed, born in chaos. The clarity you gained, carved by loss. The voice in your head that says, keep going, it was trained when quitting felt easier. So stop asking, why me? Start asking, what is this trying to teach me? That's a Stoic's question. That's how you stop suffering for nothing. Here's the discipline. Reframe every hit. Rejection, direction. Delay, preparation. Failure, feedback. Not slogans, mental recalibrations. And when it hurts the most, when the night feels longest, remember, the pain you're in now may be the exact pressure that sharpens your next weapon. Every scar has a message. Every setback has a mirror. You either learn or you stay broken. But make no mistake, growth is not automatic. Suffering doesn't guarantee strength. You must choose to mine meaning from it. You must train the muscle of turning pain into process. Don't waste your suffering. Study it, document it, share it if you must. But never let it leave you the same. Because in adversity, you face your truth. Are you shaped by the hit, or do you reshape because of it? Remember this. Strength isn't built in comfort. It's built when everything hurts, and you still show up. It's built when the plan breaks and you keep moving. It's built when life says no, and you say, watch me. So the next time life knocks the wind out of you, smile. You've just been invited to level up, to fight not against the pain, but with it. Marcus didn't run from hardship. He absorbed it, transmuted it. He made it serve him. And so can you. Because what stands in the way becomes the way. Emotion is loud. It screams when you fail. It spirals when you're alone. It lies convincingly in moments of fear, doubt, anger, desire. And most people, they obey it. They mistake impulse for truth. They call reaction authenticity. They think feeling something means they must follow it. But Marcus Aurelius warned us, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Not your feelings, not your luck, not your mood, your thoughts. And thoughts can be trained, sharpened like a sword, cleaned like a mirror, reprogrammed like a code. This is where Stoicism parts ways with the modern mind. The world says, trust your feelings. The Stoic says, question them. Because emotion is data, not directive. It's information, not instruction. It tells you what's happening inside, but not necessarily what to do. So when fear rises, pause. When anger flashes, breathe. When despair whispers, observe. Do not strike, do not speak, do not spiral. Instead, engage the mind. Ask, what am I assuming right now? Is there another angle? What would I tell someone else in this situation? This is critical thinking, the lost art of modern warriors. Not coldness, clarity. Use it. Write your thoughts down. Expose them. Debate them like a ruthless general inspecting a flawed battle plan. What's the evidence? What's the cost of believing this idea? What would Marcus say if he read this in your journal? The mind that doesn't question itself will be ruled by chaos internally and externally. But the mind guided by reason, that mind sees the storm and doesn't become it. It sees the insult and responds with poise. It sees the setback and recalculates instead of collapsing. Reason is not boring. It's brutal elegance. It lets you feel without folding. It lets you act with precision, not panic. To train it, expose yourself to difficult ideas. Read philosophy, engage in hard conversations, play chess, solve problems. And above all, reflect. Every day, ask, what thought today made me weaker? What thought made me stronger? Keep the second, rewrite the first. Because the quality of your life truly depends on the quality of your thoughts. And quality doesn't happen by accident. It's built. So build a mind that checks itself. A mind that doesn't need to scream to feel heard. A mind that, when all else is chaos, becomes the calm in the center of the storm. That's how the Stoic wins. Not by dominating others, but by mastering the one battlefield that decides everything, the war within. Your mind is a battlefield, not because the world is at war, but because you are, with your past, with your expectations, with your own voice when the lights go off. And most days, the noise is louder than the truth. Marcus Aurelius didn't live in peace. He ruled an empire, buried his children, fought plague, treachery, and war. But within all that chaos, he built a space no one could invade. Inner peace. He wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." Meaning, your mind becomes what it dwells on. So, if you marinate in stress, anger, resentment, don't be surprised when your spirit feels poisoned. Inner peace isn't passivity. It's not silence for the sake of stillness. It's the deliberate act of building calm inside the storm. It's refusing to be dragged by every external fire. It's saying, let the world burn if it must, but not my mind. How do you cultivate that? Start with what you consume. You don't just eat food, you eat headlines, conversations, opinions. Your peace can't grow in a soil of noise and poison. Protect your input fiercely. Then, train your physiology. The mind and body are allies in war. If your breath is erratic, your peace dissolves. If your body is tense, your thoughts will spiral. Use breath like a weapon. Inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 8. Do it until the body signals, "We are safe." Then the mind will follow. Make solitude a ritual, not a punishment. Be alone not to escape others, but to confront yourself. Walk, breathe, write. Silence doesn't just reveal thoughts, it sharpens them. Stop reacting, start noticing. The person who cut you off, not worth your inner collapse. The comment online, not worth your cortisol spike. The delay, the rejection, the plan gone wrong, none of it can touch you unless you let it. And here's the paradox. When you stop needing peace to come from outside, that's when it begins to form inside. Because peace isn't a reward. It's a discipline. It's not given, it's guarded. Build it like a wall around your spirit. Defend it like territory. And revisit it like a temple. Because in the end, when chaos rises, it won't be your strength that saves you. It'll be your stillness. The Stoic doesn't shout. He doesn't flinch. He walks through madness with unmoved eyes. That's not ignorance. That's control. As Marcus taught us, the soul will reflect the colors you choose to paint with. So choose wisely. Choose stillness. Choose peace not as a feeling, but as a fortress. You're holding too tightly. To praise, to titles, to people who don't stay, to outcomes that never arrive, to things already slipping from your grasp. And the tighter you grip, the more it all cuts into you. Here's what Marcus Aurelius understood. Attachment is the root of internal chaos. The more you anchor your peace to things outside you, the more fragile that peace becomes. He wrote, "Attach yourself to what is spiritually superior, regardless of what other people think or do." That's not detachment from life. That's detachment from illusion. You don't own anything. Not the job, not the relationship, not the image in the mirror. Everything you cling to is on loan from fate. And fate collects without warning. So, the Stoic does something radical. He loves deeply but without possession. He commits fiercely but without dependency. He walks into every moment knowing it may vanish, and still gives it everything. That's not apathy. That's freedom. Detachment doesn't mean you don't feel. It means you don't collapse when things change because you expected it. Try this. Next time you find yourself panicking at the thought of loss, ask, what part of me is still chained to this? Then ask, who would I be if this disappeared and I stayed whole? This is not about becoming numb. It's about becoming centered, anchored in values, not validation, in principle, not possession. To train detachment, reflect daily on impermanence. Everything passes, everyone dies, even you. Let that awareness not depress you, but focus you. Audit your triggers. What shakes you? What consumes you? Then follow the trail back to the attachment underneath. Practice saying goodbye even to things still here. Silently, with grace, so when the time comes, it doesn't break you. Detachment is not the absence of love. It's the presence of wisdom. It's knowing that what you can't control should never control you. People will leave, plans will fall apart, status will fade. And when they do, the Stoic doesn't beg, collapse, or blame. He breathes, he bows, and he moves forward. Because nothing outside you was ever truly yours. Only your integrity, only your reason, only your response. That's where real strength lives. As Marcus said, attach yourself only to what is spiritually superior, not what is loud, not what is shiny, not what is temporary. The Stoic mind doesn't chase, it chooses. And in that choosing, it becomes untouchable. You're still here. After the loss, after the failure, after the chaos that made you question everything. You're still breathing, still thinking, still fighting. And that's not an accident. That's resilience. But this final lesson isn't about surviving. It's about moving. Because many survive, but never rise. They stay stuck in the story, in the sorrow, in the old identity that pain forged. But Marcus Aurelius didn't write Meditations to sit in self-pity. He wrote it as a battle plan to advance. To keep marching forward, even if it meant dragging his soul 1 inch at a time. He wrote, "Reckon up the blessings you do possess." Not to ignore your pain, but to anchor your purpose. Because when you forget what you have, you forget why it's worth continuing. Forward motion doesn't require perfection. Just clarity, just the next step, just enough fire to say, "I'm not done yet." Try this. Set a micro goal, not a dream, an action. Wake, write, train, reflect, move. Do it even when you don't feel like it, especially then. Reflect on how far you've come. The dark days you thought would destroy you didn't. The people who left didn't take your soul. The failures you feared became your foundation. Stop romanticizing ease. Stop waiting for the right energy or the perfect moment. The warrior moves through resistance, not around it. And yes, it will hurt. Yes, you'll lose people. Yes, you'll doubt again. But you won't break. Not anymore. Because now you know, every crack became your blueprint. Every scar became your reminder. Every stumble made you fiercer. You are no longer defined by what happened to you. You are defined by what you chose next. So, move. With scars, with silence, with steady steps. With the memory of who you were and the clarity of who you refuse to remain. The unbreakable mind isn't a fantasy. It's built beat by beat, choice by choice, day by brutal day. And as we close this chapter, return to where we began. Most people don't get broken by disasters. They get broken by tiny, invisible battles inside their own heads. But not you. Not anymore. You've seen what's possible when you control your perception. Accept what you can't change. Live, present. Detach. And walk forward. Eyes clear, heart still, spine straight. The world didn't get easier. You got stronger. Now go. Carry the fire. Lead yourself. And when others ask how you survived, tell them, "I didn't survive. I rebuilt. I moved forward.